Hare Krishna. The better way to feel better about ourselves is by appreciation, not deprecation. All of us want to feel good about ourselves, or we want to feel better about ourselves. That means we want to feel more good than what we are feeling presently. And often our lower nature prompts us to do this by pointing out the faults of others, because we feel that we may not consciously understand this rationalization also, but subconsciously we feel that if we can prove how others are faulty, then by that not only is their position brought down, but our intelligence is also displayed, and thereby our position is also elevated. However, such a conception is mistaken, because when we actually so if we are at this level, somebody else is at this level, we think by criticizing that person we can bring that person down, and during the criticism we show our own intelligence, and by that our position goes up. Then the result of such a situation is that we end up actually creating negativity around us, because people are what they are and we are what we are. Although all of us, whether others or we ourselves, all of us can improve by determined effort. Especially the determined effort is centered on God's grace. But still, presently we are all what we are. And if we point faults at others, then as it is said that when we point fingers at one finger at others, four are pointing towards ourselves. So then what happens is that often when we point faults at others, people look at not only whom we are pointing, but people also look at who is pointing. So that means people look at not only whether that person has faults, but people also look whether the person who is pointing out those faults is free from faults. And if it turns out that the fault finder is not free from faults, then the result is that the fault finder also himself ends up being treated as a fault. The fault finder becomes under scrutiny and can come under criticism. So therefore, a better now, and also if the person whom we are criticizing comes to know, that person also feels discouraged, feels disheartened. Rather than doing that, we want to feel good about ourselves. We want to feel better about ourselves. But a better way to feel better about ourselves is by appreciating others. Is by seeing the good in others and pointing to that good in others. Now, in this world, this encouragement has tremendous power. When we encourage others, by such encouragement, they feel enlivened. They feel inspired to persevere on the path of self-improvement. And everybody has a positive side and a negative side. And whichever side gets the more focus, that side which is developed. And so if we point out the faults in others, then often that demoralizes them and that takes away their motivation to fight against those faults. And in the end, the result is that they become more under the grip of those faults. But on the other hand, if we focus on their good side and we strive to develop their good side by encouraging it, by appreciating it, then they feel more inspired and motivated, and that brings out the good side within us. And we'll see that actually when we genuinely appreciate others, we also get a great sense of satisfaction, because we realize that actually Krishna is very deeply connected with us and Krishna is connected with that person. and all of us are children of Krishna. And when we especially have a God-centered positive appreciation for others, then that is the better way to feel better about ourselves. Of course, that means now there is a bad way of feeling good about ourselves. That is, we criticize others destructively. We criticize simply because we want to pull others down and thereby prop ourselves up. Good way of feeling better about ourselves is that we point out some limitations in others because we have a genuine desire to help them. That is good, and sometimes saintly people do offer such corrections. But even more important is that we offer people a better way to feel better about ourselves is to actually connect ourselves with Krishna and to see their connection with Krishna and to see their potential for their various talents by which they can connect with Krishna. They can make constructive contributions using the abilities that they have, and that becomes a better way. Because even if you point out their faults, and even if they have the faults, and even if we have good intention in pointing out those faults, still usually fault finding doesn't necessarily hardly ever encourages that person, and fault finding hardly ever keeps us inspired, makes us feel inspired. But when we have a Krishna-centered vision, and then when we appreciate, then we go closer to Krishna, and we give others the inspiration to also move onwards closer towards Krishna and towards our own, towards further manifestation of their potential. That's why Krishna says in 16.3, while he describes the characteristics of the godly people, he says one of the characteristics is apayishunam, aversion to fault finding. Because the godly understand that fault finding doesn't hardly ever serves any constructive purpose, and that's why they are very cautious about finding faults. And instead, on the other hand, the opposite of fault finding is appreciating, and by appreciating, we can ourselves move closer to Krishna and inspire others to move closer towards Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.